Welcome to Soul Stories, where every tale touches the heart, inspires the mind, and stays with the soul. The sky had already turned a deep shade of gray by the time Aaliya stepped out of the cafe where she worked long, tiring shifts. She tightened her old faded shawl around her shoulders as the first cold drops of rain splashed against her skin. Within seconds, the drizzle turned into a heavy downpour, the kind that blurred vision and washed the city in silver sheets of water. Aaliya hesitated at the entrance, worried about the time. Her son, Hamza, would be standing outside school by now, waiting anxiously the way he always did. As a single mother, she never allowed herself to be late. But today fate seemed determined to test her. She took a deep breath, grabbed her umbrella half broken, but still useful, and stepped into the storm. She moved quickly along the crowded street, dodging puddles and people rushing for shelter. Her shoes were soaked within minutes, but she kept moving. She had no choice. As she passed a quiet corner near an old grocery store, something caught her eye. A man kneeling beside a stalled, black car. He looked completely drenched, his hair dripping, his clothes clinging to him as he tried to examine the engine. His hands trembled slightly, either from cold or frustration. Aaliya slowed down. She didn't know him. Helping him would delay her even more, but something in the way he struggled alone, shivering, helpless, pulled at her heart. She had been there herself once, stranded with a toddler and no one to help. Without overthinking, she walked toward him. Are you okay? She asked over the sound of the rain. The man looked up. His eyes were tired, but gentle. My car just stopped. I don't really know what to do. Aaliya placed her umbrella in his hand. Here, take this. You're soaked. He blinked in surprise. But you'll get wet. It's fine. She interrupted with a small smile. Let's push it to the side. It's dangerous here. Together, they pushed the heavy car toward the curb. The man's hands slipped twice. She helped him steady himself each time. By the end, both were breathless. You should take a bus home, she said, pulling a small folded note, her emergency money, from her pocket. She pressed it into his hand before he could refuse. Please, it's raining too hard. He stared at her, speechless. You don't even know me. Sometimes you help because you can, Aaliya replied softly. The man nodded slowly, eyes carrying an unreadable depth. Gratitude, perhaps something more. But Aaliya didn't wait to understand. She simply smiled, turned, and rushed off into the storm, unaware that this simple act of kindness would soon change everything in her life. The next morning, the city was calm, as if the storm from yesterday had never existed. But inside Aaliya's heart, the storm still raged. Her clothes were still damp from the previous night, and her umbrella was gone, left with the stranger she had helped. She hoped he made it home safely. She brushed the thought aside and hurried toward the cafe. She couldn't afford to be late. Every extra minute she worked meant a few more coins for rent, milk, and Hamza's school notebooks. As soon as she stepped inside, she felt something was off. The staff avoided her eyes. The supervisor, Mr. Farouk, stood near the counter with his arms crossed tightly, his expression sharp enough to cut through glass. Aaliya, he barked. My office. Now. Her heart thudded. She followed him into the tiny back room that smelled of old receipts and burnt coffee. Before she could sit, he slammed a file shut. You left early yesterday without permission. Aaliya blinked in surprise. Sir, I told Rina to inform you. There was a man in trouble. I don't care, he snapped, leaning forward. Customers were waiting. The tables were a mess. And you just walked out. I didn't walk out, sir. I just stepped out early because he cut her off again. You have one responsibility, this job, and you can't even do that right. Aaliya's throat tightened. I was helping someone stranded in the rain. It was dangerous. Oh, so you're a hero now, he mocked, rolling his eyes. Save your excuses, you're fired. The words hit her like a physical blow. Fired, she whispered. So please, at least let me finish this week. Rent is due, and my son. No, he said coldly, opening the door as a sign she should leave. Pack your things, goodbye. Aaliya stepped out of the office, her vision blurry with tears she refused to let fall. She quickly removed her apron, placed it on the counter, and walked toward the exit. None of the co-workers she had laughed with for 2 years dared to look at her. Perhaps they were scared of being next. Outside, the sun was shining brightly, but everything looked dull to her. She leaned against the wall, trying to steady her breathing. Her job was gone. Her only income was gone. Hamza needed school supplies. The landlord had already warned her twice. How would she survive now? She took a shaky step forward, unaware that someone was watching her from across the street. Inside, a sleek black luxury car. It was the same stranger she'd helped in the rain. His eyes followed her with concern and determination, as if he had already decided something that would soon change her fate forever. 2 days had passed since Aaliya lost her job, but the heaviness in her chest still hadn't lifted. She spent both days searching for work, knocking on doors, filling out forms, and leaving her number everywhere, but no one called. Employers wanted experience, recommendations, availability, or connections. Aaliya had none. That morning she sat on her small sofa checking her nearly empty wallet. After buying milk and bread for Hamza, only a few coins remained. She pressed her hand to her forehead, fighting back tears. She couldn't let her son see her breakdowns. He was too young to carry her worries. Just then, her old phone buzzed loudly on the table, its cracked screen lighting up with an unknown number. She hesitated, then answered softly. Hello. A calm professional voice responded. Ma'am, this is Almond Group headquarters. You are requested to come in for an interview today. Aaliya blinked. Almond Group, the giant company whose buildings she passed with A. Why would they call her? Is this a mistake? She asked nervously. No, ma'am. Your profile has been shortlisted. Please arrive by 3 p.m. The call ended before she could question anything further. Aaliya stared at the phone, confused but hopeful for the first time in days. She couldn't waste the opportunity. With no money for transport, she borrowed bus fare from her elderly neighbor, promising to return it soon. After fixing her scarf, smoothing her clothes, and whispering a prayer, she left for the interview. The Almond Group headquarters was impossible to miss. A massive glass tower touching the sky, with shimmering under the sun. Aaliya froze for a moment, overwhelmed. People in formal suits walked confidently in and out. She felt out of place in her simple clothes, but she forced herself to move. Inside. The reception hall looked like something out of a dream. Marble floors, elegant lights, polished desks. The receptionist smiled politely. Name, ma'am. Aaliya Noor. I was called for an interview. Please take the elevator to the 30th floor, the chairman's office. Aaliya's breath caught. Chairman, why would someone so important want to interview her? The elevator ride felt endless. When the doors opened, she stepped onto a luxurious floor lined with glass walls and expensive artwork. A secretary guided her to a large door. You may go in. Aaliya pushed the door, gently, and froze. Behind the grand desk sat the same man she had helped in the rain. His clothes were elegant now, his presence confident and commanding, but those were the same the ones she had seen shivering under a broken-down car. He smiled slowly. Miss Aaliya, we meet again. Her breath hitched. The stranger she helped was no ordinary man. He was the billionaire owner of Almond Group. For a long moment, Aaliya stood frozen near the door, unable to process the reality in front of her. The man she had helped in the pouring rain, the quiet, shivering stranger beside a broken-down car, was now sitting before her as a completely different person. In a crisp suit, polished shoes, and a confident posture, he looked every bit the billionaire she had only heard about on the news. Yet his eyes were the same, gentle, kind, grateful. He gestured for her to sit. Aaliya, you saved me that evening, he began softly. She swallowed nervously. I only did what anyone would do. He smiled, shaking his head. You'd be surprised how few people stop to help a stranger in the rain. I was undercover that day, visiting my companies without revealing who I was. My car broke down, and hundreds passed by. Only one person stopped. He looked at her with sincerity. Aaliya lowered her gaze, unsure how to react. I didn't do anything special, she whispered. To me, it was, Adam replied. And kindness like yours deserves to be honored, not punished. He stood up, opened a drawer, and pulled out an envelope thick, sealed, and heavy with significance. He placed it in her trembling hands. What is this? She asked, breath unsteady. Your new employment contract, he said gently. A managerial position at Almond Group, higher salary, full benefits, medical coverage, childcare support, and something more. Aaliya's fingers shook as she opened the envelope. Inside was official paperwork along with a set of keys. K keys, she whispered, stunned. Adam nodded. To your new home, a safe, comfortable apartment in one of our employee housing residences, paid for entirely by the company. You and your son deserve stability. Aaliya's vision blurred as tears gathered in her eyes. But, sir, why? Why would you do all this for me? Because you helped me when you had nothing to gain, he said simply. And because people like you remind me why I built this company in the first place. Compassion should be rewarded, not punished by unfair employers. The dam broke. Tears slipped down her cheeks, stares of relief, gratitude, disbelief. She covered her face with her hands, overwhelmed. Adam walked around the desk and offered her a comforting handkerchief. Aaliya, from today onward, things will be different. You won't have to struggle alone anymore. She looked up at him, her voice trembling. Thank you so much. You've changed my life. He smiled warmly. No, Aaliya, you changed your own life with kindness. And from that day forward, her world transformed. All because she chose compassion in a moment, when she herself had little to give, never knowing it would return to her 100-fold.